Alright, hey guys, it's me, Miss Doolittle. I just wanted to let you know what we're going to be doing today. Today we're going to be learning how to come up with an equation from an input-output table. Once we have an equation, we're going to be able to now graph it in slope-intercept form. The first thing I like to find is my slope. And to find the slope, I need to find the change in my y values over the change in my x values. So I'm going to write that down, change in y over change in x. Alright. Now, to find my change in my y, I'm going to look, well, how do I get from -5 to -2? Well, I add 3. How do I get from -2 to 1? I also add 3. And from 1 to 4, I add 3. So the change in my y values is 3. Now, if I want to look for the change in my x values, what I also am going to do is see how do I get from -3 to 0? Happens to be that I add 3 again. From 0 to 3, I add 3, and from 3 to 6, I add 3. So my change in my x values is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and this is my slope. So I can put a 1 here in my m. Now what I want to look for is my y-intercept. And we all know the y-intercept is where a line goes through the y-axis. Also, we know that it's where x equals 0. So actually in this table here, they gave me the y-intercept. I already know my y-intercept is -2. But let's say I want to prove it algebraically. I can pick any point I want and plug it into slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to pick any point I want. I'm going to pick 3, 1, just because I think that's the easiest point without dealing with negatives. Now I know my slope is 1. And I know x equals 3 and y equals 1. So now that I know all that information, I can just plug it into slope-intercept form, which is going to get me 1 equals 1 times 3 plus b. Now I'm just going to solve my equation. 1 equals, well, 1 times 3 is 3 plus b. I'm going to subtract 3 to both sides. 1 minus 3 is -2 equals b. So check that out. I proved it algebraically, and I also saw it here when x was 0, y equals -2. Alright, so now I have my m and my b. All I need to do is take those two pieces of information and finally plug it into slope-intercept form. So y equals 1x minus 2. And I'm just going to graph it by going to my y-intercept, which is -2. And then my slope is 1. So I'm going to rise 1 and go to the right one. Up 1 to the right one. Up 1 to the right one. And I'm going to do that as many times as I can. Then I'm also going to go the opposite direction, down 1 to the left one. And then just draw my line to connect it. Now I've graphed coming from a table. If you need help with this, let me know.